Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about an interesting topic here, a topic of much debate. Does God exist or not? And first of all, I'm going to point out you can't prove that something doesn't exist. So I'm not going to try to prove that God doesn't exist, because you can't. It's illogical. So I'm going to follow logic here, not not religious beliefs or anything like that. I'm going to follow pure logic to discuss this topic. Does God really exist or not? And really, you can't prove it one way or another. There's really no evidence of God existing, but we can't prove that He doesn't exist. So let's take a look at this. The first thing I was just talking about is you can't prove that something doesn't exist. That's illogical. Therefore, the burden of proof or evidence is on the believers in God. And since there is no proof or evidence of God, then you must ask yourself, should it be put on a we don't know list, or should God be regarded as non-existent? You decide for yourself. And I'll look over those two sets of logic here. One way you could look at it is, since there's no evidence of God existing, but you can't prove that He doesn't exist, we must place Him on this we don't know list, meaning you place Him on this list of things that we don't know if they exist or not. And that means you can't and since you can't really prove that something doesn't exist, we must place fairies and dragons on this list too, and unicorns, meaning that we don't know if they exist either. We're placing them on this we don't know list. Anything that I make off the top of my head also must be placed on this list, simply because you cannot prove that it doesn't exist. Therefore, there is no such thing as non-existence. Because if you just make something up, but you can't say that it doesn't exist because you can't prove that it doesn't exist, then there's no such thing as non-existence if you think about it. Or you can look at it more logically. Fairies, dragons, unicorns, and etc. are regarded as non-existent because there's no indisputable evidence of their existence. God should be labeled non-existent for the very same reason. Okay, you can decide which is more logical. A, there's no such thing as non-existence, and anything I can make up off the top of my head, we don't know if it exists or not. Or B, anything without indisputable evidence of existence is regarded as non-existent. Things like unicorns, fairies, dragons, or in this case, God. So, that'll give you something to think about, and I hope that was informative. So, see ya.